right. Welcome, guys, to Indy Industry. I am your co host, Adrian Nice.
I'm the host, Mr. On Edge. I never know what alias I want to use. I got like 50 million names. So we are in the new studio, Indie Industry, new podcast studio. Just set it up, 2022, the new Indie Industry. So if you don't know what Indie Industry is, pretty much rebranding. We pretty much talk about all things film and media, mainly in the film industry, like independent filmmaking, that kind of thing.
Everything an independent creator does, we talk about it.
Pretty much.
So, what's on the talking schedule today, my guy?
So first of all, what's been new? Like what's happening in the Adrian world?
Well, I just came back from LA. I spent last year in LA. I met a whole bunch of people, but it's time for me to come back to the Carolinas to pay a visit to all my clients and business partners on this side, trying to shoot some things. We just launched a streaming service, all that.
That's dope. So we'll talk more about the streaming service in a second. But I want to, while it's on my brain, let's talk about what's the difference between like for an independent creator or freelancer or somebody who's in the video production filmmaking world, what's the difference between like Charlotte, North Carolina, and LA, Los Angeles?
Ask that again. What was it?
What's the difference? Like
for independent creators?
Yes, like let's talk about the pros and cons. Like first, let's start with the pros, whether it be in West Coast for film or staying in a smaller town like Charlotte.
So pros and cons. Before we get started, I just want to talk about these hats. $1 Million Mentality hats, $1 Million Trucker hats, one of a kind. You can order them today.
Manifest your million.
Just go to mouthingout.com, mouthinOut.com.
If you're watching, it'll be somewhere on the screen.
And we'll make a link for the indie industry joint.
Let's do it.
So let's first talk about Charlotte.
Okay.
Or a smaller city type town. Pros and cons. Let's run a list of pros.
So you've experienced LA way more. I've only been once, and I went to LA as a tourist, and I just visited, just did the main like sites and stuff, whatever. But I haven't really experienced the freelance world out there. So you've been there for a few years,
So out here, you're a big fish in a small pond.
Okay.
But out there, you're a small fish in a big pond.
Okay.
You got sharks, you got whales, you got
you
all
going
of
against dolphins.
Everything. It's the ocean.
Fun fact: killer whales are bullies in the ocean.
Exactly.
So that's funny.
So you got to deal with all of that. Out in a smaller city. I'm just going to talk about Charlotte. To be exact,
okay.
You're probably not going to thrive out here as a freelancer unless you're doing like music videos or something.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're probably just going to have to go to like commercial shoots and stuff like that. Just because we are a banking city, so a lot of money into like businesses, corporations, startups and all that type of stuff. You're probably going to find success in that here.
Versus like LA, when I was there, I got more of an artistic vibe.
For sure.
Versus Charlotte is business heavy. I will say I do 95% corporate videos and maybe 5% short films and feature films.
Yes.
I don't do any features. I don't do any filmmaking. I do straight corporate because that pays the bills.
Because at the end of the day, we don't have like any of the headquarters here, either like Netflix or Amazon Prime, none of that here. So we don't really necessarily know how to get our stuff on the Netflix or stuff like that. But, out there you have more independent creators, independent production companies, people willing to finance young creators for their projects.
So would you say if you're somebody who's looking into doing filmmaking versus corporate, they should probably move to a more...
You're saying like narrative films?
Yeah, like I would say short films, documentaries type stuff.
You can be successful
anywhere,
at it.
Yeah.
So it depends on what type of success are you looking to have. As far as narrative films, documentary goes, are you trying to have a financial success or are you trying to have a fame success?
That's a good question.
So,
well, for me personally, I'd rather have a financial success versus fame.
So then you can be successful over here and anywhere.
Because you could be a camera operator. If you have a good camera, then you can just start marketing as camera op.
I mean, yes, or you can just produce your own films,
this is true.
Develop your own following, and then sell from your website, direct to consumer.
That's if you don't want to be out here every day shooting.
You can do that everywhere. You can do that everywhere. You can do that in the smallest town.
I know there's a lot of smaller video production companies in Charlotte, like $3-4 million video production companies in Charlotte. Mm-hmm. And when I talk to these guys, their main client base is people like Bojangles, Greystar, Bojangles, Greystar, Corporate. Bank of America, Wells Fargo. NASCAR. If you don't know what Greystar is an apartment owner company. They own like almost every apartment community in this area anyway.
It's because they got the money, bro.
But yeah, that's where if you want to get into like video production corporate wise, you need to get contracts with bigger companies.
So if you're doing commercials and you're a production company, you just have to find a client, they pay you, you shoot it, it's done.
It's more so like retainer contracts.
But if you're doing your film, you got to shoot it, and then you have to distribute it.
Find a way to distribute, yeah.
And then you have to market it, and you have to make your money back.
It's tough.
So they don't want to go through that. But if you go to Hollywood, you can get fame. You can get fame like, Quentin Tarantino is a famous director, you know what I'm saying? He makes good projects, but he has a name behind him too.
When I hear a lot of success stories with different podcasts like Film Riot podcasts or Indie Mogul podcasts, when they interview people who are in Hollywood making moves, like they're working on The Boys or they're working on stuff like Transform, whatever the case may be, Spider-Man, who knows? All of their stories are similar. It's like they get on set with somebody and they be friends with the right people. They start as a PA or they just know somebody, but it's always somebody they know.
That's
so I would say,
industry is.
If you can get into if you can get to LA and you freelance with, you say you can be a PA, whatever job you want to do, I would say try to be that friend. Like on lunch break, talk to the cameraman.
Straight up, I'll tell you how to get into the industry, bro. You go out to Hollywood, Atlanta, New York. Before you even want to become a PA, bro, find the company you want to go to, find 10 similar companies and ask to intern.
Yeah.
Work for free.
Definitely.
Work for free because they're going to be more liable to give you access to the rooms with the people that have the money. Not have to worry. And all you have to do is what? Hold a camera for somebody or do the grunt work or whatever.
Bring somebody coffee.
Because I was in LA, I started interning for this girl named Shirley Jew. She's a big journalist out there in LA, and she's verified. She got a show called Shirley Temple, Blase. I DM'd her. I was like, "You need an intern."
I know who that is.
Knowing that I have more than enough experience to fucking be like, "Yo, I
director
need to be paid."
Or something. Yeah, you got. I mean,
I ain't working.
Thing is, we got enough experience to direct a big budget movie from Disney.
I have.
It's just who you know.
More experience than a lot of her crew members. But, I came in, I humbled myself, and I was like, I'm just trying to get in the door. Like, can I intern? She's like, okay, boom, let's get it. I transcribe for her. I fuck her, like her audio. Sorry, I don't want to cuss. I follow her around and do vlogs. But by doing that, I've got to see a lot of A-list artists just because of that.
Yeah. Just being on set and seeing it, you learn a lot of. Let's be honest. What they teach you in school, it's cool, but everybody does it differently. I've been on so many different projects, whether small or big, and everybody do it different. And all of those fancy film terms that they teach you in school, most people don't use that stuff. You be on set, they be like, yeah, bring me that thingy. What thingy? That thing over there does this. And you've been in the industry for 50 years.
It's because a lot of those people on set, they ain't went to school or they ain't been in school.
Those film terms don't mean nothing. I be throwing out terms and
I still recommend going to school, though, just personally because, they teach you.
I would say if you can't afford it, intern with somebody and learn under them.
For sure. But if you can, I would say go because you meet probably 70% of your network there. You know, you never know who's somebody going to be there. You know, you have your crew that you're going to be filming with for the next 10 years as soon as you come out, and you have firsthand knowledge from people in the industry. Like the school we went to over here in Charlotte, the teachers were awesome, but it's probably nothing compared to what it would have been like if we were in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We would have been touching Reds. We would have been touching
Aries,
talking
everything.
to directors that are directing that type of stuff. So, that's another thing. I say, if you can go to school or travel and leave, you don't have a family, et cetera, and go to a different city, a bigger city while you're younger, I say go.
Man, I just almost want to buy a van, live in my van, and just go to LA for like 2 months.
Oh, well, let's
talk to everybody.
That's kind of like the independent side. Let's talk about the corporate side. How do you break into getting corporate clients and actually getting budgets that aren't, the paperclip budgets?
So, all right. So if you want to get into corporate, first of all, you got to build your resume. What I've done was I shot for a lot of small businesses who had, their budgets weren't 500, 600K. There's small businesses just starting out, mom and pop shops. Depending on what kind of work you want to do. For an example, if you want to do product shoots, you need to find somebody with products, shoot their catalog, and practice. If you want to get more into like the interview, talking head stuff, almost any and every business can benefit from it, but more so your corporate companies like Bank of America, whoever, those businesses more so benefit from talking head stuff, like the interview style videos, testimonials, stuff like that. So if you want to get into that, I definitely recommend, if you want to get into corporate, learn how to shoot interviews and get it down to a science. And it's not just setting up the camera and it's not just setting up lights. That's important, but you have to know how to interview people and know how to talk to people and know how to engage and pull that emotion out of the person. So it's like, you can have your list of questions, but here's a technique that I use. I'm getting all of
go ahead.
But here's a technique that I use when I'm doing interviews. Yes, all the lights and stuff are beautiful and the camera looks nice, whatever, 6K, who cares? But that's all great, but if the person get on camera and freeze up, you got to understand 99% of these people never been on camera. They never talk to a camera or talk to anybody on camera. So you just want to have a conversation about them. Don't even talk about the film. When you get there, just talk to them like, oh, that's cool. What jacket you got? Or whatever. Just talk about whatever is appealing.
Get them comfortable.
Yeah, and then you just never look at your phone when you're doing an interview. Don't look at a sheet of paper like, okay, question 1, question 2. What I do, I be conversating with them. They talking, and I just throw in another question. They don't even know I'm asking questions. At this point, we're just talking. Mm-hmm. And then you get that true, raw emotion, and that's how you get a good video. But anyway, if you want to get into corporate like that, you got to just start doing free videos, learning how to light, learning how to set up the microphones, learning how to talk to people. And if you already know how to talk to people, you're already ahead of the game. You just got to learn the camera side of things. But
has it been profitable? Has it been?
Yeah, so 99% of my income is corporate videos. I do interviews all the time. That's literally all I do is interviews, interviewing people, and all that stuff. That's literally it.
So now, would you recommend finding a company and working for them as internal production, or would you recommend freelancing and finding corporate clients?
I will say there's pros and cons to both. Obviously, the pros to working with a company is you have a constant check coming in every week or every 2 weeks. If you get hired with a company, that's just what it is. You get paid no matter what. If you're freelancing, you already know you got to find that next client, find that next job, find that next thing. And it's profitable. The pros with freelancing is there's no cap to what you can make because you can do $20,000 in 1 month. But if you're working corporate, depending on what your salary is, you're not getting $20K in 1 month unless you're working for like
you get that bonus.
unless you're like the head videographer within Bank of America or something, then that's different. But they probably make maybe close to 6 figures, not even that, if that.
That's crazy.
Because the highest salary that I've seen for a multimedia specialist, that's what I do, is around like 80 or 90, and that's on the high end. I'm talking about cats who's been in the game for like 20 years.
Dang.
So that's a specialist. Freelance. You could be a director, you could be multimedia director, whatever. If you want to go into the safe route and you get hired, do it. I mean, you can still freelance on the side.
Put that team together. I would say freelance, man. But, He has more experience in the corporate world for sure.
Yeah.
But if you can put together like a 3-man team of consistent people that, like a person that's willing to make calls constantly and call them motherfuckers.
But I got a family, so
yeah,
I gotta be strategic because
that's true.
I got this job 6 months after my son was born, so I had a 6-month-old baby. I was like, I can't do freelance. I gotta be safe, But you never know. I mean,
but before that had got you your house. That had got you your cars.
I was in these streets. I was shooting for everybody. I was doing everything. No job was untouched. So now I'm 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, I cut it off. I don't do nothing but play PlayStation.
So now, is there a difference, would you say, in equipment that you need to have going into corporate versus if, I
would say with anything, if you're doing a lot of interview stuff, I would get a solid tripod, obviously. You could either do lavaliers. I would do lavalier and microphones, so I would definitely invest in the Zoom recorder or
price ranges.
Yeah. Honestly, you can start off with
$300 towards a mic, $200 towards a mic.
Nah, you can get the Rode. Well, the Rode Wireless Go was $190 something when I got it.
That's $200.
That's good. I mean, you can go cheaper if you want starting out, but my shotgun mic was $200.
Longevity.
So
long term.
It depends.
So we need to get the basics. We need a tripod. We need audio. We need lighting. How much should we spend on lighting?
I recommend the Godox SL60W. That light is like $130 something, but you got to get you have to get the umbrella thing.
We need one of those, or two, or three, or what?
Honestly, you can get away with one. You can get away with one light. But if you got time, because 9 times out of 10, when you're doing corporate interviews, you got 30 minutes to set up, shoot the interview,
well, they gonna need 3 points.
Get out.
No?
A lot of my interviews were just one light. Okay, and sometimes I would do a key light and a backlight if I got time. Okay. But if I have time, I would do the key light, a fill, and a backlight or hair light.
And our cameras.
If I have time, I would do 2 cameras. But 9 times out of 10, I got like 30 minutes. I go up, set up my one light, my one camera, put the mic on them, get the shot, and get out.
But how much bare minimum should we at least spend on the camera? If we're serious about going into this corporate game, we're serious about consistently filming.
I will say this: whatever camera,
say 1,000 at least.
Whatever camera you get a rig and add random stuff on your rig that you're not even going to use. Reason being is because if you show up with just, let's say if you got an A7S III. Now, we both know the A7S III,
like 3K?
It's like 35. That camera is beast. And if you're in the film world, you know the A7S III is a freaking beast camera. But your client don't know. All they see is a tiny camera with a lens on it. They think you're not a professional because you only showed up with a small camera and a small lens or whatever lens you use. But if you show up with your A7S III rigged out with the matte box, you got a handle on it, you got random cables running through your rig, they're going to think, oh, I'm getting my money's worth. And on the next job, they're going to pay you more. Even at the end of the day, the image is going to look the same. You don't need it, but it's all aesthetics. You have to look the part because I've had clients who looked at me and was like, that's it? That's all you brought? They loved the video, but the whole time they were sweating. But when I rigged up the camera and I added everything to it, the matte box, the handle, all this extra stuff, the monitor on the camera, people thought I was like top dog, super professional, super successful.
So... like 5K for everything.
Nah, you can get a Blackmagic for like the 4K for like $1,200 and then spend $60 on a cage. Literally.
What? No, I'm saying for the lights, tripod, audio.
I haven't, honestly, I don't remember what I spent on all my stuff. Honestly.
How long do you think it took you to make your money back from all of that?
Depends on what I got and what I used.
Or do you think you've made your money back yet?
I mean, I get a check every week, so I guess.
Dang, that's crazy. Would you ever go back to freelance?
I mean, I would, yeah. I mean, eventually the goal is, I would say my 5-10-year goal is to have my own film company, corporate company, to where I have a team of maybe like 5 to 10 people. That's the ultimate goal. I have my own studio that we work out of, but that's about it. I mean, I'm not really into like shooting films, getting movies out. Nah, but I mean, I am working on my first feature. My first and 9 times out of 10 last. That's it.
What? Why? Keep going.
I don't
man.
like, honestly.
What if the check is right? I bet you'll start doing that.
I mean, yeah, you gotta think. I feel like me personally, I think I'm more of a business owner person versus a filmmaker.
You like a system and a formula.
I just like making money, whether it's filmmaking, music, or whatever. I just like making money. I mean, I don't do it for the money solely, but the money is a huge motivator, obviously. When you see money, you get happy. Everyone gets happy. Yeah. So I'm not just out here twiddling my thumbs just to twiddle my thumbs. But I can't say I haven't shot a project for fun in the last year. It's all been business.
Now, what if you shoot this project and it makes more money than all of your other projects?
I mean, that's cool. But yeah, honestly, I will still keep my job.
Facts.
I will still keep it. Because, I mean,
you might as well just shoot your own stuff then.
Because, okay, I get this money. Say I get like, I don't know how much I'll make.
Say you spend 20.
I'll get a Netflix deal, right?
Say you spend $20K on a film and you make $100K from that.
That's $100K. You'll spend that in a month. No, I won't spend it.
But then you shoot the next one. Take $20K from that. Yeah, shoot the next one. Keep rinse and repeat.
But that depends on who I gotta pay on the back end. Distribution. Whoever got a percentage.
Market, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Half goes with that. All right.
Because I would spend, let's say I spend $50K on the film if I had it. Then I get $100K back. I only profited $50. So I broke even. I mean, that's cool, but
no, you made $50K.
Yeah, true.
Made $50K.
I spent $50K and it got I made $50K. Ooh.
Hey, what? To have the power in your own hands, to not have anybody telling you what to do, when to sleep, when to come in. That's powerful, guys. So if you get that formula, you get that science down pat, you put together a team, and you come organized, you know.
True.
But not everybody organized, because I ain't. It's about focusing, controlling your mind.
Yeah, true.
But we gonna get there because we got the streaming service now, so we know where to distribute it now. We just gotta build the following, market it, and shoot the content.
But everybody want to get on Netflix.
Fuck Netflix. Which goes into the next topic.
Nah, Netflix is goated. I ain't even gonna lie.
Who would you say is the top?
I mean, I can
number one in streaming right now.
I can only go off my personal.
Yeah, it's personal opinion.
I will go with Netflix. I will say I'm going off of a more technical aspect because Netflix has the cleanest and the most functional streaming app website. Bruh. All right, let me break it down.
Apple's looks pretty nice. They just don't got no content.
Okay, so they lack content. So they got
the tech. Well, all right,
so they got
talking about the software.
Let's break it down. I'll say it was a category. They got the software, but they don't have the content.
They definitely ain't.
Netflix has both software and content.
Yep.
Disney has the content, but their software sucks.
Garbage.
It's garbage. I hate getting on Disney. Hulu is okay, but they don't have content like
they
Netflix.
got content. They got the series.
They got the series. Hulu is dope, but I can be honest. I only open Hulu maybe once a month. Why am I still paying for it? I don't know.
Theirs is cluttered. That's how I put it.
But the thing is, it's very cluttered. But the thing is, if you want to get ads, you gotta pay. So you pay for Hulu, Amazon right? Prime. I'll get to Amazon in a second. You pay for Hulu. What, $5-$6.99 or whatever, and then you get ads, right? And then you have to pay
get ads on everything.
No, you don't. I don't get no ads on Netflix or Disney. But I have to pay for the no ads package on Hulu, so it's already up to $12 right there. Netflix, I get no ads and 4K streaming up to 4 screens for the same price.
Ads. They just show ads for the other films.
I don't see no ads.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, they show ads for the other.
I haven't seen one ad. I don't know.
When you go home,
well, I'm paying for their highest Netflix package, so I don't see anything.
Probably
on there.
Not.
I don't see anything on Netflix. I don't know.
They just I just seen a post that they increased their premium up to what is it, $15.99?
It's too goddamn much.
People paying it though.
But I'm paying it.
Netflix, you know what you're doing
because I have a 4K TV.
That's all.
And I like to watch my content in 4K.
Footsteps. Okay, so what about YouTube?
See, YouTube is a different.
It's different
type of breed because
So wait,
anybody can upload
you
on
said
YouTube.
Netflix? I'm going to say goddamn Disney.
As far as, but
oh wait, so that's software.
So if you don't like, all right, so Disney has great content, but if you're not somebody who's into Marvel, Star Wars, or Disney movies, then
So
Disney's not for you.
But Disney
But
also owns Hulu.
I mean,
Disney also owns Hulu. They own they can.
we're talking about the separate, not companies. We're talking about their platform.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
but Disney has Zack Snyder, so that's all that matters.
Disney definitely content.
Not Disney. Netflix has Zack Snyder.
Bruh.
HBO Max. Don't get me wrong. All right, HBO teamed up, or they either own Warner Bros. Showtime, or they teamed up with Warner Bros. But they have all the DC content. I like HBO Max because of the DC TV shows like Titans, and then you have all the DC movies and the cartoons. That's why I like HBO because I'm a huge DC Comics fan. But HBO sucks.
Sony, y'all need to get with the program. Y'all got
HBO, if HBO didn't have Warner Bros. Content, like Matrix and all that stuff, I would not use HBO ever.
I mean, HBO be having the documentaries. They have the pay. Is that pay-per-view? Like the boxing matches?
I don't know.
Oh, that's on Showtime. Yeah. It what used to be on HBO.
I mean, I would get them all. Showtime, Stars, HBO, everything.
But I would rather launch
Stars ain't got no daggone content.
Stars got some film. Stars.
I think they have Spider-Man.
The BMF
I think
series. They have Spider-Man. They have Power, which is 50 cents.
Let me just go ahead and put this on record so the whole world can hear. My number one.
They got content.
My number one favorite site, which is complete trash, but it is my favorite streaming app and will always be number one, is Funimation. Because I watch anime nothing but anime. So Funimation and then Crunchyroll in second place. And then everything else after. Because I watch more anime than I watch regular TV or anything else. Mm-hmm. And Funimation, so I think Funimation and Hulu broke their deal. I'm not sure. Because I know Funimation and Hulu had a deal. So that means Funimation made a deal with the devil, Disney.
So what do you think about this? So you know what Blockbuster is, right?
Yeah.
So Blockbuster, for the youngins that don't know what Blockbuster is.
Bro, we the same age. I used to live in Blockbuster.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about our audience.
I hope
the youngins who was born in 2010 or,
I used to live
Blockbuster.
Hollywood Video.
It was, yes. You used to go into this brick and mortar store and be able to rent out your VHS tapes, your DVDs. Blockbuster was like the what would you call it? It was king of that.
It was Redbox.
So Redbox came, wiped them out. So
and now Netflix wiping them out.
A company came and offered Blockbuster just $5 million just to get their brand name, turn it into a streaming service, and relaunch their whole brand. Is that a deal you would take or no?
But are they completely out of business, right?
No, I think they still got like 1 or 2 stores.
But they're not making $5 million.
I don't. That's the question. So
right, nobody.
Is that a deal you would take?
The only people that are buying DVDs are collectors. It is because they want to collect DVDs just to put them on their shelf to say, hey, it's tangible. I have a DVD collection. But a lot of them are still in the wrapper because they're not going to watch the DVD. They're going to watch it on Netflix or whatever the case may be. So I would say $5 million. If you have no business at all and your 2 stores about to close, I would take the $5 million.
I don't see why they ain't did that from the get-go. Transform their platform into an online buy or rent type service.
I think if Blockbuster would have seen the trend happening and they would have made the first streaming platform, Netflix wouldn't be
even
king.
If they didn't and followed suit behind Netflix.
Yeah.
They would have been in a pretty good position.
They would have been one of the heavy hitters.
Because only a year ago we've had these other big media companies launching theirs, and that's what, like, 10 years
streaming
after
is the future,
Netflix,
bro. Even like a lot of consoles now aren't coming out with like disc anymore.
Yeah,
you could like
gaming consoles. Yeah.
You can still buy
cloud.
I mean, you can get a PS5 with a disc and an Xbox with a disc, but most people buy the disc version and never buy games like physical games. They download the games from the PlayStation Store.
You're right.
So what's the point of having a disc? You're not gonna watch DVDs on it.
That's crazy. Well, I would still like to have a disc. Like, I hate in all the laptops.
If you had a DVD player, if you had a Blu-ray DVD player, then you're better off just keeping your Blu-ray DVD player and buying an all-digital gaming console if you're not going to buy games. I got the disc version because I buy games. I want the shelf, like a shelf of like all my games.
Yeah.
Because once I beat it, it's going to live on the shelf as a collector's item. So
as a filmmaker, do you think when you create a piece of content, should you try to get it on a streaming platform or should you just release it to YouTube? Let's talk about YouTube. Why is YouTube different?
I think if you have a solid following.
Why is YouTube different?
So YouTube is different because anybody can start it. If you have a Google account, you have a YouTube account. You can upload anything on YouTube.
You can do that with Amazon.
This is true, but not everyone's on Amazon searching through Amazon
looking for a lot of people
looking for how to cook tutorials.
A lot of people.
So no one's going on Amazon looking up how to fix my toilet. They on YouTube, and if you Google how to fix my toilet, YouTube video go pop up.
That's true.
YouTube has when I go to Amazon, I'm looking for TV shows and movies. When I go to YouTube, I'm looking for vlogs, how-to videos, tutorials, or just day in the life of whatever. Or gaming videos.
TikTok just replaced, I think it was...
TikTok taking over the world.
It was either YouTube or Google, one of them, as the second search engine
TikTok
for
taking over.
Stuff. Something like that.
I will say the For You page on TikTok be life sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. I sit down and will scroll through TikTok for 3 hours.
So you'd rather watch TikTok over Instagram?
I'm gonna be honest. My most used app used to be YouTube and Facebook. Now my number one used app is TikTok.
You don't use Instagram a lot?
Nah.
What about Snapchat?
I don't even have a Snapchat account. I haven't logged into Snapchat in like 5 years. Feels like I don't do Snapchat. Snapchat is the devil.
So, but the only thing is, do you even know how to get your stuff on these streaming platforms?
Like Amazon and stuff?
Amazon, Netflix.
Oh, no.
Who to talk to, any of that.
I know people who do. So I can talk to them, and they got the sauce. They know how to get it there, but they just don't have content.
That's why YouTube, is another, because everybody got access to it.
There's a lot of short films. There's a lot of short films on YouTube. I mean, if I put out a film, like a short film, I would just throw it on YouTube. That's it, just to build a fan base. But if I spend money and go through all the trouble of doing a feature film, I'm not putting it on YouTube. Maybe for the first couple months, because I would at least try to do like...
Everybody didn't see it. The first couple months is your most important.
Yeah, true, but it's like... I would try to get it somewhere. Amazon, somewhere.
Your website. You can just create a website and do direct sales from that. Or YouTube. Once you get 1,000 followers and you get 4,000 hours, you can start selling.
If I was monetizing YouTube videos, then I would say if you have a good following on YouTube and you're making money on YouTube, you're gonna make your money back depending on how much videos you get. Because I think if a video is like 1 million something views, some channels are getting like 3,000 or 4,000 a month. So if your video's doing numbers every month, you can get your money back.
Or every day.
Eventually, you get your money back.
You definitely get your money back.
And then what you do is you put out the film, you put out the BTS of the film. So now you're doubling the views on your film because they watched the film, they didn't watch the behind the scenes of how you made the film. And then you put out some other videos about the film, like my thought process
bonus
on
content.
This scene or whatever on YouTube. So now you have 3 videos, and because if I watch a film I like on YouTube, I'm going to watch the BTS and I'm going to watch everything else about the film.
And if you're like me and can't get a following or anything, build your email list. That is what everything else is. It's all emails. It's just connected to emails.
Send an email out every week.
Yeah. Every time you drop a film, promote it, market it.
Every time you upload a video, send it out to your people on your email list.
Yes, sir.
That's what you do. That's about it.
How you feel about this Metaverse stuff?
I'm all for it. Like, I'm gung-ho for the Metaverse. So, with the Metaverse, I'm all for the Metaverse because...
Wait, let's start with crypto. Crypto. How do you feel about crypto? Do you believe in crypto?
I mean, bro, I think crypto will take over because,
it's starting to.
Yeah.
We got the Staples Center that just got replaced by Crypto.com.
Because people are buying stuff with crypto now. I could go somewhere and I can literally pay in crypto.
Yep. So now we got this digital world, the metaverse.
Crypto pay for people's schooling. Like literally, Dogecoin paid for somebody's schooling.
Elon Musk backing that 100%.
Doge or just all crypto in general?
Yep. All right, yeah. Dogecoin, Doggycoin, however you want to say it. Amazon accepting payments through that. You got Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum ATMs out in Cali, so you can go there.
Coin is taking
cash it out. You can do all of that, man.
Speaking of big crypto, we need to get some NFTs.
Yeah.
I've been watching a bunch of videos on how to put them out, but it's just like, what would I put out?
Well, so you got the Metaverse. You got the Metaverse, which is basically, do you understand what the Metaverse is?
Yeah, of course. I've been following Metaverse. It's pretty much a virtual world.
Virtual
that eventually we're all going to live in. I give it 10 years. We're all going to live. See, here's the thing. Now we're talking about it. Technology, like graphics. I don't know if you know what Unreal Engine 5 is.
Yeah. So
technology is getting so good, you can't even tell what's CGI and what's not. So I don't know if anybody out there who got like an Xbox Series X or a PS5, when you play the Matrix Unreal Engine demo, it literally looks like you're walking around a real city, but it's all 3D.
And that's actually the trend in the film industry.
But it looks real. Even film is using Unreal Engine. And it looks mad realistic. So the thing is, when you say if you get strapped into a machine, right? You get the helmet, and if they can learn how to simulate your 5 senses inside of a computer, you're going to forget that you're in a simulation. You're not going to know you're in the video game.
So during the pandemic, what became very popular was remote filmmaking.
Yeah.
So now you have these virtual production companies, which all they have is, instead of doing CGI and instead of doing a green screen, they just have a big LCD screen.
LCD wall.
And they can be anywhere. All they need is set props everywhere.
And the cool thing is those LED screens are reflecting light from your background. So it already looks believable.
Anytime you move the camera, the background moves just as the camera does. So that became very popular. It's gonna that's gonna be a top trend in the future. So if you have that, and then you got the metaverse, how you think we're gonna have jobs in the metaverse?
I think you are. Honestly, I believe you are, because they're gonna make the metaverse so realistic to where if you have a virtual house, your virtual grass will grow. So you're gonna have to hire a virtual landscaping company.
So, but it's like, why do that when
you're gonna have to
do that in real life?
But you gotta think. You gotta think, because people's lives suck in real life. So they're gonna try.
Round 2.
They're gonna try their best in the metaverse. Now, if your life suck in real life and in the metaverse, you just suck in general. But what I'm hoping, they have different things to where you can like experience like fantasy stuff. Like, for an example, if you're into this stuff, you go in the metaverse, you can go to a boss raid and fight dragons and goblins.
Well, they have games out.
Yeah.
Play to earn games.
So I don't think they're gonna make the metaverse like super ultra realistic, but I think they should have sections where you can have people who are into the realism and then people who are into.
So the metaverse is not one thing. Let me just put that out there. It's not one thing. It's multiple. Yeah, anybody can create their own digital world. That's all it is. So virtual digital world.
Pretty much, Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, he is creating a virtual universe. And I'm guessing it's different worlds within that universe type deal.
But then you have places like Decentraland. Yeah. And then you have
I'm about to make my own planet.
And then these are places.
And be God of that planet.
Where they allow people like, say me and him wanted to go in there. We wanted to create a whole a world, just like you said. You can do that in Decentraland. You can buy plots of land and you can create your own metaverse within their metaverse. Essentially, that's what they're doing.
I'm going to create a planet. And it's going to have elves.
They have a metaverse right now. A couple of them, it mimics the world, basically. So you can go. If I wanted to go buy THS on this metaverse, I could.
Yeah, that's dope.
And resell it.
I mean, you could with all of the information from Google Maps. So if you can,
that's what they got. That's what.
If you import Google Maps into the metaverse, what's the point? You might as well just stay in the real world. But I will say,
but you got the digital version of that.
But the benefits of, I would say, when I was talking to somebody about the metaverse, the benefits of the metaverse would be people who are paralyzed from the neck down and can't walk, can't function, but they have their consciousness. They're conscious. People who are sick and are in wheelchairs and miss walking, or people who are in their deathbed and they got like maybe a month to live. I would let them spend the rest of their life in a fantasy world, living out their dreams. Like, I'm about to die, but I've never.
How they want to look.
Yeah, I'm about to die, but I've never went skydiving. So I'm gonna go skydiving in the metaverse or whatever. I mean,
would you get the same experience?
I mean, if you technology is to the point where if you can mimic the five senses, like I said, if you can mimic, I don't know if you don't watch a lot of isekai anime and stuff like that. So like if you watch Sword Art Online, anime like that, then you know they put in the little nerve gear, and the nerve gear can make an avatar based off your exact like specs of your body, and you can feel, taste, hear, smell, all those things. Yeah, like Ready Player One. But with Ready Player One, you actually got to move your physical body. With this, you just sit in the nerve gear and you lay there and you don't move.
Oh, wow.
So you're just laying there. But you feel everything. You're in that actual world, but your body is just laying there like the Matrix. It's literally the Matrix. You're laying there dormant, but you can feel, and all your five senses are transmitted to whatever
from your brain.
I'm watching this one anime, can't remember the name, but it's like an ultra realistic game. The dude sit in his gaming chair, he put his helmet on, and when he goes into the video game, he can hear, taste, smell, see, feel all his five senses. Anyway, he can do all his five senses in that video game. And when you're in that game long enough, you forget you're in the game. So eventually they're going to, because right now we just have hearing and seeing, and we have three other senses we haven't really gotten.
I mean, well, you got
to the point, but I think
straight from your brain.
Yeah, I think to the point they're trying to. If you got the right technology, your brain, you can trick your brain into sending these signals to your body because it all starts from your brain.
It's crazy.
So if my brain tells, if a part of my brain stop working, and that's my touch, whatever, my nerve and my finger, I ain't gonna feel nothing because my brain ain't sending signals. So if they really get to that neurotechnology to where you can actually, I give it 10 years probably, maybe sooner. But if you can mimic all of your five senses in a computer, you're gonna forget you're in the metaverse. And this is why I believe freaking simulation theory could be real. We all live in a simulation. Maybe they got that technology in the past and we're just doing it again inside the simulation. You never know. The thing, because you can simulate blood, taste, all those things. You can simulate it all.
Maybe.
You never know. And with the metaverse,
I doubt it. But
I'm telling you, when my son gets 20 years old and they're in the metaverse, they're gonna be able to do everything you experience in real life. You're gonna experience the same thing in the metaverse. All your five senses.
How do you think NFTs will affect filmmaking?
At this point, you're gonna have to spend $1 million to buy a Will Smith NFT to play in your movie.
I mean,
because by the time then, NFTs gonna look real.
I mean, but not even that, bro. Like, just the NFT is just a non-fungible token. Yeah. So basically, you could, I don't know, your webinar. We were just talking about doing a webinar. You could launch a webinar. You could release it through NFTs. Release it as an NFT.
Like with music too.
Just any digital thing, and then sell it to 100
release
people.
The podcast with NFTs.
We can. Anything digital. Your contracts, digital. Audios, digital. Music, digital. Nas, what he just did, he just released a song as an NFT. He still owns part of it, but he released a certain number of NFTs, and anyone that buys it, they can get royalties off of the music streams.
So that's the question I had. So if I sold, like say if I did a single, and I sold that single as an NFT, so people are pretty much buying royalties for my streams.
You can do it that way.
So if I got 1 million streams on Spotify, people would get a cut off those streams.
Yeah, think of it like a company. That's one way you could do it. Or you could just release the whole entire audio with the layers, switch to digital packs.
If I bought let's say Wayne, Jay-Z put a song on NFT and I had the money to buy it.
If that's how he wanted it to be released.
So he don't put it on Tidal or nowhere.
He can choose how. Yeah.
If I bought the NFT,
if
can I release the song on Spotify?
You'll get it all. If he's giving away 100% of his.
Oh, so it has to be 100%. So I'm sure he's not gonna sell 100%. He's probably
so he would put it out, but then you would get the some of the royalties. I would get like say because you have the NFTs
3%, and I'll get 3% of royalty.
Exactly,
that's a lot of money from a Jay-Z song, especially a Beyonce song.
Or he could sell the whole thing.
He's probably selling that NFT for like $3 million.
You have filmmakers that are Quentin Tarantino, one to be exact. He's about to release a film as an NFT, and it's going to be the whole, or one of his old films. It's going to be the whole film. You'll be able to do whatever you want with it. And it'll put it together. You can release the whole thing.
I'm about to put it on my YouTube channel, monetize on it.
Hell, But then you're thinking about how can you use that in the metaverse? Because NFTs are going to be used in the metaverse. Dang. So what can you create in the metaverse?
How much is this film going to be? You trying to go half? Upload on YouTube?
I mean, but think about your own stuff. We're creating our own content. How can we?
I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff is you have to have a following of some sort. It's like, why would somebody buy?
If you build it, they will come.
Why would somebody buy my track for like $500?
Well, it's about how. That's just music. There's other things. Like if you go into clothing, it's about how unique it is.
I'm about to just put all my tracks.
Because your digital avatar is going to have digital clothes.
This is true.
So you have digital designers
making clothes and
making 3D versions of their clothes.
People making jackets. I saw that.
And selling them as NFTs. And people's buying them things.
That's crazy. This whole world is going digital.
We had it.
So I'm telling you, man, if we're at this stage in life and we're going into a virtual world at this pace, how do we know we weren't already there? That's the thing. Now I'm getting on the wrong topic, conspiracy theories. That's for another podcast, conspiracy theories. We ain't going to talk about that on this one. Because I have a whole lot to say about conspiracy theories.
Yeah. I don't understand how we the only planet with the ozone layer.
Because we could live in a dome. I don't think this world is real, honestly. It's whatever. Somebody lying to somebody. I think NASA is the biggest liar. But they getting paid to lie.
They holding a lot back, I'm sure.
They getting paid to lie. Let me stop for the FBI, bust through this office and kill us.
But you got NASA, you got people like Tesla. I mean, Elon Musk. He
probably in on it too.
Who owns Amazon? What's his name?
Jeff Bezos. They all in on it.
Bro, I have this friend. She's been working with companies, space companies, and pretty soon, which in the next 3 to 5 years, is what she said, we're going to be able to take commercial flights to the moon. So about 5 people pay about $3,000 each. We'll all be able to get into a jet and go to the moon.
I mean, I'm down for it, but they need to figure out cryo sleep, whatever you call it. We can sleep, hibernate, and travel light years away to a different planet. But if you do that, you might as well say goodbye to this world and your family because you could be gone for like 1,000,000 years.
Well, they just announced that we can move like, I don't know, what was it, 3% at the speed of light, which is fast. Even that's still fast.
It's fast.
So,
I don't know,
we're going to the moon. But have a moon.
I know in this lifetime, we probably won't even see all that.
What if Mars was the old Earth?
I mean, there's theories out there. There's actual science behind how it is and why it is.
That's crazy, man.
But if we can manage to move here, I mean, I feel like past civilizations were more advanced than what we are now. Somebody said we live in the apocalypse, the post-apocalypse, because all of the civilizations that were back then, like the Saxons, Samaritans, and like Rome and all of them, they were actually more advanced than we are. Mm. But over time, we lost all of the history and all the secrets and stuff. So we had to start all the way over, and now we're here at this point.
That's crazy.
But I mean, that theory makes a lot of sense because even with the pyramids, there are studies that show the pyramids were built from the top down. They're like, there's proof that it was built. And the pyramids are electrical conductors.
I believe.
So they had electricity back then.
They're aligned with.
They have tools that we can't even make.
Milky Way.
Like, yeah, they are. They're aligned with like all types of stuff. They have
belt.
How do you perfectly build 3 huge pyramids that are perfectly aligned? And then we can't even recreate the pyramids the way they created it. And people are like, well, they had slaves that worked overtime. Bruh, there's no way.
I mean, how do you think they just pushed it up the thing?
Bruh,
that's what I think.
No one can tell you exactly how the pyramids are made.
So I don't know why they trying.
All of these PhD people, no one knows how the pyramid was made. Mm-hmm. No one. And then there were other pyramids made, but they just chipped away and they turned into mountains.
Yeah.
So there were other pyramids that just corroded. Now they're mountains. Come on now. They got pyramids underwater. We don't know anything. Now they're talking about the hollow earth because he found another body of water under earth. So now how do we know earth isn't hollow and this atmosphere was unlivable, so they went into the earth to live? You don't know this stuff. We don't know. Everything's a mystery on planet Earth.
Indy Industries theory episode coming soon.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
anything else to say about Netflix? I mean,
that's it for me.
NFTs, the Metaverse.
You know, I don't know a lot about NFTs. I'm just learning.
Streaming services.
So what's this streaming service you keep talking about coming out?
Video Blimp. Officially launching February 8th. We're looking for content. So if you got music videos, you got films, documentaries, you got series, TV shows, come on over to Video Blimp and we'll make it pop, make it shake.
Video Blimp.
I just want to put the power back in the creators' hands. Lower the barrier to entry to mainstream distribution. Because like you said and like I said, we don't know how to get our stuff on Netflix. We don't know how to get it on Disney. We don't know who to talk to. You know.
Well, maybe we can
get somebody to talk to.
Get somebody on the show that knows how to do it all.
Or just come on the Video Blimp and start making money immediately. You don't got to get 1,000 subscribers. You don't got to get 4,000 hours watched. Upload content and we booming.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. That's what it was, and that is what it will be. Thank you guys for joining us.
Definitely. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, like. Yes. If you're on somewhere else listening, Spotify, iTunes, whatever platform you're listening or watching, follow, like, leave a comment. Share. Click the links in the description for all that stuff. And share with your friends.
I am Adrian Nice.
Mr. On Edge. And subscribe to our YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep. Subscribe. Cop your hat. Cop your $1 million mentality hat. Your $1 billion trucker hat. One of a kind. Custom made.
Yes, make some money. Mentally.
Yeah. If you got $1. If you're a dreamer. If you have $1 million idea.
Do it.
Tap into your $1 million mentality.
Don't wait.
Don't wait. You know.
I'm going to get some food. I would love to chat with y'all, but I'm hungry.
All right.
So,
all right.
Peace.
Peace.